Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me and watch this video. Today we will make notepad cover and we will also make a box. So basically we are working on a set, like a gift set. Box, and inside of the box we will have notebook cover. I am planning to repurpose some of the boxes I have from the Cheerio. We will use this one. We will use white notepad. I purchased this one from Dollar Tree store. And this one measures 4 inches by 6. And it is about 3/8 of an inch thick. I will use 2 sheets of cardstock that we will use for the box. And I will use some paper from Magical Thinking. I know I created few projects from this particular pack. So for this project, I will use paper which I do have left. So to start this project, we will have to cut apart our box. So for the box, we need to remove all these flaps. So I will remove them off camera and I will be right back. Okay, so I did cut out the flaps and now we need to take this box apart. So we do want to make sure that we cut this straight. So I will use my ruler and I am basically taking this box apart. But what I do want, I want to have nice straight edges in here. This is the reason why I am using the ruler. Okay, we might use these, so I'm gonna put them on the side for now. And this measures approximately 4 inches, so I will cut 4 1/4. But now I need to make sure that I have third side straight. So I'm just aligning the bottom so I can make a nice straight cut. Just like this. And now we will start cutting this piece. So this is the straight cut. So we will cut this to 4 1/2. 4 1/2. I'm sorry, 4 1/4. So we're gonna need 4 pieces, 4 1/4 inch wide, and I can actually cut 3 out of this one side. So they are nice and even. And now for the height, this is 6 inches. I will cut to 6 1/4. And we will need one more piece. So let's just make sure this is nice and straight. Okay. So now 4 1/4, and we said 6 1/4 on this side. I will take this piece back because we said that this is about 3/8. So I will cut strips, but let me just trim this a little bit so it's easier for me to determine the 1/2 inch. So we will cut 2 strips, 1/2 inch. And these we have to cut down to 6 1/4. Oops. 6 1/4. I think I have to trim this with the scissors. It didn't cut right. Okay. So now we have 4 pieces, and we do have our spine. So we will glue these pieces together. And in a previous project I glued the opposite way. I guess it doesn't really matter. So here it is. If yours didn't cut right, you can just trim it, but really such a small difference in paper, the overlay, it really doesn't matter. So just like that. So we got one, and now it's really thicker. It's almost like a chipboard. And we will do the same thing with this one. So we will glue them together. Because the glossy side is on the inside, it slides a little bit, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. It's gonna get stuck anyway, and we have our 2 pieces. So we're gonna do the same thing with the piece for the spine. And then just squish it to make sure it's nicely stuck. And here's our spine. So I will use this paper from the collection. I am using Magical Thinking. Many of you have this paper. It's purchased from Michael's. I know they have quite few of these. So this piece measures 6 1/4. So I will cut the paper to 7 1/4. And I want this side to be up. So we will position our chipboard just like this, with 1/4 inch space in between. I'm sorry, not 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch in between, and this is how we're gonna glue it. So on this one, I keep approximately 1/2 inch of the border. I think that's good enough. I wanted to save some of this paper, smaller pieces, for different projects we can make from leftover paper. And I think this is such a beautiful paper. I don't want to waste too much of it. So 1/8 of an inch space. And the back. Again, approximately 1/8 of an inch. If you want to make sure that this is straight, you can put your spatula or something underneath. Okay. And now this is too long, so I will trim it. And again, I'm leaving only about 1/8 of an inch. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. 1/2 inch on the side, and we will score. So we will score on all 4 sides. We will fold this over. I will run spatula against all edges of that board for this nice crisp look. As you can see, it's beautifully finished. And I will create a little score right here just to help this paper fold. So now we're gonna have to miter the corners. So small angle to the corner, and on the outside leaving a little bit of paper in here to make sure that we can wrap this corner really nicely. Just like that, all 4 sides. Okay, and now we can glue. Now make sure that all of your sides are glued. They are really stuck. So if you need to run over a few times with your spatula, you can do that. And now in between the spine and the chipboard on all sides, we're just going to make a little indentation just to stretch that paper. Just like that. So now, because we are making cover with this paper and it will peek from underneath, I am going to cover this space in between the spine and the front, spine and the back with the same paper. So I will use the leftover piece that I have, and I will just cut this in half. Again, just to make sure that we can cover that spine. And our piece measures 6 1/4. I will cut to 5 5/8. That's going to be about here. And 5 5/8. And now we can cover the space in between the board, just like that. So basically, when you're cutting these pieces, make sure that this piece is long enough to cover this paper. And now let's glue it. And I will position just like that, trying to get approximately on the middle of that spine. And I will do the same thing on the opposite side. So basically, you want to make sure that you cover all of the chipboard. Okay, so now we can start folding. Just work on it. Don't push it too hard. You don't want to break that paper. You just want to stretch it a little bit and almost push it right inside, right there. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. And as you can see, this is opening a little bit. I am just going to apply a little bit glue in there, just to make sure that this is stuck. This will all be covered. So here's our cover. And this will be my front. Yeah, I don't want butterflies upside down, so this will be the front. Since I have some of my MaKala stickers, I am just gonna apply it to the back. So you can do the same thing if you are actually planning to sell this. Little promotion for you guys. You can do that. And this is the cover. So now we will cover this side, the spine, and when we place this notepad, as you can see, you don't have to cover anything on this side. So we're just gonna glue it just like that, but we will decorate the front. So for the inside, I'm choosing paper from the same collection. And I do have this paper left, so from previous project, that's what I'm gonna use. So our cover measures approximately 4¼ so we're gonna cut to 4 inches, and this is 6¼ so 6 inches, so 4 by 6. Let me cut this to 6 inches and then 4. And from this piece, I will cut smidge less than ½ inch. And that's because our spine is ½ inch. So we got this, and now 6 inches this way. That's exactly what we have. So now let's glue this. Okay. Now this will actually cover the spine right here. And just like that. And now we will cover the notepad. I think I'm gonna use the leftover paper that I have to cover the notepad. I think it will be beautiful presentation. So the notepad is 4 inches. So we will cut this to 4 inches and approximately 1/8. You want smidge longer. And the height we said is 6. So I will cut 8. Now, because I'm not gonna make this a removable one, I cut it to 8, and that's why we did not decorate the back. So I will start from the front. So let's apply glue right here. Don't go too close to the edges because you don't want to glue your pages. And now we're gonna have butterfly on the front. So let's align this so we don't see any sides of that notepad from underneath. Okay, so now we can fold this, make that crease right here and right here. Okay, and now we can apply the glue right here. And with this we are basically covering the top of that notepad, making look really nice. Okay, now if you cut it a little bit too wide and you can see a little paper sticking right here on the side, I would just take a blade and just run it over just to trim that. But in my case it just came out perfect. So this will be our little notepad, which I think this paper is beautiful. So now we're gonna work on this side, and for this side I am gonna use one of the leftover pieces, something with yellow. So just to show you, this is how I store my leftover pieces. So I clip them all together, and you can see that it's really easy to see which color you need. So I just pulled this one. This is what I'm gonna use, but this is how I store my paper. And I do have few packs like this. Some of them are for the shorter pieces, narrower, but this is what I do. So I will use this paper. I think the yellow will match. I'm planning to use this portion of it. So let's measure. The pink piece is about 6 inches. So I will cut this paper to 6 1/8. Okay, and I think this is a little bit too wide, so this is over 2 inches. I think I'm gonna trim this to 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna use this as little band, just like that, positioned on the middle. So I run glue, just a tiny bit of glue right here. If it's too much, just wipe it a little bit. And that it's gonna create a little bend. Okay. So now, if you have any notes or anything, you can just put it right here. But we are not done with this. I do want to decorate this a little bit, and we will glue this notepad. So the notepad, let me just apply the glue. And glue it just like that. Let's squish it from the back to make sure it adheres. And this is the notepad. I think it's very nice, elegant. The spine is 1/2 inch, and you can see that it is a little bit bigger, but that's because when you're going to be placing some things in here, you do want a little bit room. At least that's what I think. If you don't like this, then your spine make 3/8 of an inch, and then it will be flat. In this particular pack, we also had this page with little butterflies, and I do want to cut a strip, and I will not use the entire strip, so I just want to cut the right way so I can reuse it or make something else from leftover piece. So I'm cutting out those butterflies. And I will use only one of them. So I will just cut out one butterfly. Because I want to position this just like that in here. But we have this butterfly with the black background, so I think that's what I'm gonna do on this one. So I am just gonna take some type of, I got some leftover cardstock. So I wanted to create little border just like that. So, okay. And we will trim this. And we will place it in here just as a decoration. To position this, don't apply the glue on the entire piece. So I would suggest to start from the middle, just a little strip, and just go a little bit on each side. This way you are sure that you are not gonna go over. So as you can see, this is really nice, quick, easy, again, beautiful presentation. So I hope you like this one. Now we're gonna make the box.